Dr. Mushroom.
Hi.
Good to see you, Marvin Hausman. Oh my gosh.
I feel very mushroomy.
Can I tell you? I got to tell you something. This is an unsolicited endorsement. Okay. When I met you, okay, I had just gotten out of knee surgery. Remember, my knee was the size of a cantaloupe. Okay, and anybody knows me. 2 years ago, I was a taco shy of 400 pounds. I mean, I'm an active guy. I work out 5-6 times a week. I just injured myself working out. My knee was this big. I took everything from glucosamine to chondroitin to every other. I have spent probably $500-600 on internet supplements trying to fix it. And I take this stuff and I take a triple dose of your stuff twice a day. And I have absolutely no swelling in my knee. And it's the only thing I've changed in my life is taking that stuff. You're doing something right.
Well, yeah, I mean, we have natural anti-inflammatories. There's the wisdom in nature.
Yeah.
I mean, there are things in nature you don't need pharmaceutical products.
Right. Tell our listeners and our viewers, I know a lot of you folks are just joining us, are new to Dr. Mushroom. We met him about 5 years ago, and we interviewed you just as a health guy, just out of the blue from a friend of a friend that you came in before you were this company. And you were doing this research and finding stuff out. So now he's the CEO of a publicly traded company called Total Nutraceuticals. Stock symbol is TNUS. And the interesting part about it is you did everything you said you were going to do 5 years ago, and we were all shaking our heads going, who's this mushroom guy? Mm-hmm. And suddenly you're back now. Are you getting the same response from your colleagues and everybody else you talk to?
Oh, absolutely. No. I just was in Atlanta 2 days ago. An old surgical friend of mine, Dr. Richard Bassin, we were interns and residents at Mount Sinai Hospital in 1967, 1968, and then I was drafted into Vietnam in the Marine Corps and had my orders changed and was sent to NIH. And Richard called me the other day and says, Marv, I can't believe what I'm hearing. You're doing great research.
Yeah.
And in fact, he set up a meeting 2 days ago. I was just left from Atlanta to come here to do the TV show.
Wow, that's good stuff. Stay right there. We're going to take a quick break, come back. Dr. Mushroom's in the house. By the way, their stock symbol's TNUS. Total Nutraceutical Solutions.
You can OD on
Part of our small caps are people, too. Their stock symbol, by the way, TNUS. Total Nutraceutical Solutions. I purchased this stock. I should probably tell you that in the interest of full disclosure. Let's reset the company because a lot of these people haven't seen you before. So let's talk about Total Nutraceutical Solutions and who you are and everything. Let's start from the beginning.
I'm an immunologist and surgeon, trained at UCLA, had a pediatric surgery practice at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center. I've devoted the last 15 years of my life to curing Alzheimer's disease, finding out why nerve cells die in the brain. A lot of work was done at NYU School of Medicine, Harvard Medical School, Penn State, and we found these very potent antioxidants that are in mushrooms,
right,
and that no mammal can produce, but that you need.
Right.
In fact, we have shown in a recent public announcement that we could suppress Alzheimer's disease with vitamin D2 inside a mushroom.
And that's mislabeled vitamin D2. I love this story about vitamin D.
The Canadian government just declared an economic problem in healthcare because 16.1% of the death rate in 2005, according to Statistics Canada, is due to vitamin D deficiency.
Really?
Well, vitamin D is ballied around recently by the international medical community in the United States. They hired a group of people to assess whether you need vitamin D. And the report that came out by the IOM this week or last week was somewhat contradictory. In one case, they said that you're not getting enough vitamin D, and they said, well, we should increase it to about 600 to 800 international units a day. And then in the next part of the report, they say that, well, you shouldn't take more than 4,000 international units a day.
So now we're confused.
Totally.
Listen, you're a doctor, but on our side of the fence, we get that all day long. I mean, we honestly get that all day long, and it's confusing. So break it down. By the way, you guys created a product after the research. You created a business after you found the research, not vice versa like most supplement companies do. Most supplement companies do it the opposite, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. We're data-driven, and I'm established in medicine. I'm an immunologist. I've worked at NIH for years. We want to have data first. Then we create a product.
Yeah.
We don't go out and create a product and just say, where's the data?
Right.
And so we've been doing research for the last 2 or 3 years on oxidative stress, on Alzheimer's disease, on fibromyalgia,
right,
on blood sugar problems, and we're seeing very positive results from the anti-inflammatories in mushrooms. Well, the report this week by the IOM, the Institute of Medicine, helped things because it did raise the flag for vitamin D. It's telling people that vitamin D is very important.
Yeah.
Most physicians, like myself, think that the parameters of vitamin D nutrition need to be adjusted.
Yeah.
It need to be adjusted upwards, whether it's for humans or animals going to enter the pet food market, because
nice.
it's a fragmented market. When you go to the pet food store, there is no uniform approach to feeding pets.
Okay.
And all pets are vitamin D deficient. Just like the owners are vitamin D deficient, which the government said this week, everybody's vitamin D deficient.
Right.
All pets are vitamin D deficient because they don't get enough sunlight, even if they're outside. If you're above 34 degrees north latitude, Atlanta, Georgia, the sun is coming in at a skewed angle, doesn't come directly down, so your body, whether it's you or your pets, are not producing enough vitamin D. Let me give you a statistic, for example, which people may not even know. The nutraceutical market in the United States last year for humans was $80 billion. The pet food market is $34 billion.
Well, we've got people, guys that, did you know why that is?
$100 billion in potential.
And look no further than the humanization of pets to realize that people are going to spend money in that direction.
No question. The pet is part of the family.
Yeah.
You go home at night, there's unconditional love. You walk in, the little tail is wagging.
We've had an argument on this radio program on just how much little Scruffy would cost before the surgery for little Scruffy at some point is too much. And we've had divisive arguments on the air with listeners calling in saying, you're an idiot. I'll pay $50,000 to save my kitten. And I've got a cap of about $7.50 per
and what would your wife say about that?
No, well, whatever she wants. And
Get a new
she gets
dog.
to, and she wins.
Hey, what are the signs that say Fido is a little, short on vitamin D? Did you not wagging as much? The ears drooping?
Sounds a lot like you.
I know, that's what I'm thinking.
That's an excellent question. I mean, you'll notice your dog getting tired, not running as much as he used to. You'll notice the hair falling out. You'll also notice that the texture of the skin is not good.
Right.
You may notice some deposits in the ear. Another thing, in one of our studies, glassy eyes.
This is sounding more and more like Russ.
I know
every little
every
piece
Monday
of
morning.
Hey, listen, I got a question for you because this is interesting. I've been in the investment banking business and the venture capital business for since 1989, 21 years. There's two types of CEOs in this world, and I'm going to tell you honestly. There's CEOs that sit there back and look at their stock. And all they try to do is look and see who's going to throw money at them. And then there's CEOs that actually run their business, that execute their business model. And if you go through history and look at the CEOs in history that are less concerned about the ancillary issues in being a public company and more concerned about running their own company, executing their business model, you're obviously the latter, not the former. You're one of those guys. I never hear you talk about how difficult it is to be a CEO of a public company because you're always executing your business plan.
Yeah,
it's the best possible CEO to be.
But I'm a surgeon. Can you imagine going into the operating room and not being in control?
Yeah, right.
Think about you as a patient.
Yeah.
It's the same business model whether you run a corporation or you operate on a patient. You have to plan ahead.
Yeah.
You have to chart your course, and you want to make sure that the patient gets off the table, and you want to make sure your corporation is a success. Right. You can't willy-nilly say, I'm going to do this today or that today. You have
but
to
the
have a
point
very
is
good
how do you,
program.
when we get back, I want to talk about this because you've got to balance running the publicly traded company side of things, dealing with the FINRAs of the world and the SECs and your SEC council and all the other crap that goes along with it, with trying to move this movement forward. And I got to believe it's a delicate balance. We'll talk about it when we get back from the break. Two things. How do people order the product right now if they want to? Can they go online and order it?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. They can go to mushroomsolutions.com.
Okay.
Or totalnutraceutical.com.
Okay.
Or they can call a number called 509-427-5195.
Okay. Part of our small caps are people, too. Their stock symbol, by the way, TNUS. Total Nutraceutical Solutions. I purchased this stock. I should probably tell you that in the interest of full disclosure.
If you took all the talent on this show and bottled it up, you'd fail a urinalysis. It's Sully and Russ on the Big Biz Show.